What's happened, Facebook, YouTube world? Hope everybody is doing well today. It is Thursday. It is August. It is the 12th. I cannot believe that we're damn near halfway through August already. It's kind of scary. So, okay, yay, COVID vaccine. We are waiting on Dan to Dan the window man to come and join us on here, so he will hopefully be popping up here in just a second. But yeah, like I said, we're literally halfway through the month, almost halfway through the month of August right now, which is just time just is going so damn fast. So it's amazing. It's downright scary. So hey, but it's cool. It's beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see what time I'm getting round two of my vaccine tomorrow. So if I become a flesh-eating zombie, you know why. What's happening? Luke, Rich and Maria, Truth Seeker, Wild West, welcome. Oh, yeah, I just put up the Steel to Real Club and versus the Battle Box video because apparently I have just way too much money to spend on silly crap. Hey, what's happening in Rocket City? Hope y'all are all doing well. I do not know where my guest is. My guest looks like that right there, so... he'll eventually show up. He's probably finding a good sweater vest to wear tonight. And yeah, I know. You know, it's really just the proof of these E3 sport shirts. Rich, I have had this shirt this is the first dye sub shirt that I bought. I'll bet you it's 7 years old, still fits great, still feels great. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away, even though it sells, it says that on there. And it's even their really old logo. So they've gone through a couple of logo revisions, I think, since then. So, what's up, Steamy Turd? You actually can't smell the whiskey because I am not drinking tonight. I actually have to pull a double, and I got to go out and wash rest areas off of. I had to go off and wash rest areas tonight over in Madison County off of I-10. So. And it's not even the rest area is the funny part. It's just the vending machine areas at the rest area. It's actually a hell of an account to get because it's just this like 5 foot by 20 foot vending area where they keep the vending machines. Now, you better be on your P's and Q's because everything in there costs thousands of dollars and is highly electric and highly sensitive. You don't want to be frying anything because I don't know what an electronic ice cream vending machine costs, and I do not aim to find out tonight, you know? But yes, not drinking at all tonight because, yeah, I'll be working. No, I do this, these accounts quarterly for them. So, and it's beautiful. And most embarrassed to say. Dan, what's happening, man?
What's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Your volume's down.
You can't hear me?
El Turno Volumo Uppo. No microphone?
It's on.
Can you hear it when I call you a dumbass? Okay, well, good. Yeah, we got no sound from you. Does anybody else have sound from him? Make sure it's not mine. So, hold on. Y'all can hear. That's so weird. So they can hear you. but I can't hear you.
But everybody can hear me.
How freaking weird is that? How about now? Say something.
Can you hear me?
Hey!
Hey,
I can hear
buddy.
you.
Welcome to the show.
That was my own fault. I'm an idiot. Oh.
Can you hear me when I call you a dumbass?
Yeah. Oh, God. My apologies.
It's all right. I've made a mistake once.
I thought I made a mistake, but I was wrong. God, I wish you could see all around my chair. I'm in the middle of doing a video on store-bought cleaners. And just all around me is just cleaners.
Nice.
all around my feet is just cleaners. So and you can forget this. Got the one that's going to put us all out of business.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of us. We're all
That'll clean up within 6 months.
going out of business. You know the best part about this, Daniel, whenever you and I run out of sanitizers, we can use this. I'm not kidding, because main ingredient in here, yes, it has come to this. Alkyl dimethyl benzyl ammonium chloride. What does that say to you?
Absolutely nothing.
You know what that is. It's quat.
No, I don't use quad. But
Right.
good.
You can literally sanitize with that, because it's quat.
I got you.
I think it's kind of humorous, What are you using for sanitizing, if you want to say?
Pathaway.
You're using the Pathaway? Yeah. I'll tell you what, the Pathaway is a lot easier on your lungs whenever you're spraying it.
Yep. And it really fills the room. You can just see it with a proper fogger. It's just rolling in that room.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yep. So I've got 4 of the, ULV foggers. I've got one of the backpacks. I've got that Petra 12-volt spray. I've probably got 8 different ways of applying it. Right. And I swear my absolute favorite thing in the world to use is that backpack. That backpack fog blaster. Oh my God.
The fog clean light.
Mm-hmm. Fog clean light. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll actually be doing a video here soon on the wet and forget and the over-the-counter stuff, just for the school, because so many people give really horrible, foul, awful advice. But I was very, very interested to learn that this is just quat. It's a quaternary ammonium cleaner. And there's several different quaternary ammonium cleaners, but typically all of those are, again, hold on. Alkyl dimethyl benzyl ammonium chloride. So, Mr. Homeowner, would you rather me spray bleach on your roof, which will break down, or would you rather me spray alkyl dimethyl benzyl ammonium chloride? I'm not even sure what that is, but boy, that sounds, horrible. I'll bet you it's got a bunch of dihydrogen monoxide in there, and whew, that stuff will kill you.
But it'll probably kill the stuff on your roof too.
What's that?
I said, and it'll kill the stuff on your roof too.
Absolutely.
In 6 months.
Tommy, I am feeling a little bit better. I still got a limp from what happened to me is I had a gout flare up, a gouty arthritis flare up, because apparently I drank 4 Leinenkugels with Tim Aselton at Miller Park, and my body does not like Leinenkugel.
You're supposed to drink Miller at Miller Park. Could be karma.
My bad. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's kind of sucked. I got a little scooter to ride around on, but it's getting better. I got to go out and hump it tonight. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So how was dinner with the family? Good.
Dinner was good, yeah. We were going out to a local restaurant last night that Richie wanted to eat at, and none of us paid attention that he didn't put his shoes on when he got in the car until we got there. So
Nice.
we went to Sonic and ate in the vehicle, and then came home. And then today he was ready to go back. So we made sure he had his shoes on. And we went and had dinner.
Parenting is tough sometimes, isn't it?
I've heard that it's horrible. I've got a busy schedule.
Rich, you know what? I don't know if they even have Budweiser there, because I got to be honest, we were kind of doing it the elitist way. We were at a private restaurant for a little event up there, and like the waitress came by to us, and she literally looked at us, came over to mine and Tim's table and said, "Hey, we've got summer shandy on special tonight. Would you like one?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." Because on the interstate, we passed by the big Leinenkugel brewery and had been talking about it for a couple of days since we were up there. So it's kind of exciting.
Budweiser Shock Top has got a lemon shandy. When I drank, that was my preferred shandy.
Really? Shock Top has a shandy?
Yep.
I had no idea.
A couple cases of them always went down easy. It's a good Tuesday morning beverage.
Oh. You were one of those guys that whenever you partied, you literally partied until you were homeless, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through a custody battle. My wife didn't want to keep me, and my parents wouldn't take me back. Wanna say hey to everybody?
We got Richie.
Yeah, come here, say hey. Come here. Say hey.
There's Richie. What's happening, buddy?
Can you wave? All right. You gone? Love you.
Bye, Angie. Love you too.
Bye.
Dan, for those of you who don't know Angie and Richie, he's got an absolutely amazing family. They are great people. So, and they put up with you.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
And you keep them in riches and fine restaurants like Sonic and. Sorry, tried to. Dan, hang on 1 second. Like, sing something. I'll be right back. I get some more water. I'll be right back. Ow. Ow.
La 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 la.
I was kidding about the singing, damn it.
Well, if you can't follow simple instructions, then you don't deserve to be in this business.
All right. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I'm just gimping my ass back over here. Ugh. So the whole reason that I wanted you to be on here tonight, well, not the whole reason, but one of the reasons, is that you had a visitor to one of your job sites this week.
Correct.
Right? And it was your insurance company.
Yep, for workers' comp.
Care to expound, or am I going to have to drag this out of you?
I prefer questions.
Okay.
Because
So
this is new to me. This has never happened to me. So I can tell you what, from him showing up to him coming,
Right.
leaving, but you may have more detailed questions that you'd like to ask.
Now, our old insurance company. I want everybody to realize that I'm not monopolizing the conversation. That I literally have to like pull your teeth to get you to answer. But your insurance company, your workers' comp called you and they said, Dan, we'd like to come by and see you in action.
Yeah. So I wasn't even on the job site, and call came in, answered, Clearview Window Cleaning. He said, hey, this is so-and-so with blah, blah insurance company. We'd like to stop by the job that you're on today and look at everything, look at your rig, and talk to you. I was like, okay. He said, we can be there in an hour. I can too.
Yeah. Why not?
Sure.
Let's make it a party now.
Yeah.
So they literally didn't really give you a choice, didn't say, hey, sure, we'd like to swing by. Yes, like they said, we're coming by to see you today.
Yeah. And he asked me to text him the address. So I called the homeowner because it was a residential job. I told her what was going on, and asked if she was okay with basically a safety audit. And she's like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I texted him the address and met him out there.
She's like, absolutely. The last guy, he died when he Yellow Jackets. Yeah.
Ooh. Arm's still swole up. I don't know if
Jeez, you're having a hard time. We'll get into that later, because I actually had that written down that I wanted to talk to you about that. So he shows up, and what does he do whenever he shows up? I assume, hi, I'm Emu from, the insurance company.
Yeah, he just.
Or did you get Doug?
Did I get what?
Did you get Emu or Doug?
Doug.
You got Doug.
But I think it was a cover name. He showed up. He was friendly, introduced himself, asked what all we had going on. The tech was finishing up on that job. He had maybe another hour left on it. So I just explained to him what we've done, what we had to do to finish. He wanted to look at the truck. He was asking about heights and how often we're in lifts, suspended scaffolding, ropes, just a lot of questions. Interesting enough, I didn't realize this. He was asking percentage-wise, are we more residential versus commercial? And I've always run off the dollar amount. They don't care about the dollar amount. They care about how often are your boots on a residence, the grounds of a residence versus the grounds of a commercial site.
Because they're not really insuring a dollar value as much as they are the time that you're there.
Liability aspect, yeah. But when I've dealt with insurance, I've always gone off the dollar amount. People, agents or brokers, they always want to know what your payroll is, and it's always based off of the dollar amount. Dollar amount, we're almost 50-50 commercial residential.
Right.
But as far as scheduling goes, we're mostly residential, but the commercial that we do have is very large commercial.
Right. And it pays well. And
so that was something that I learned. But he wanted to see the trucks, my truck that I was driving, the truck that was on the job, look at the equipment, was just asking about different cleaners and asking about processes. Just kind of getting the general gist of how we operate. The screen has froze, but you can hear me?
No, is it still frozen?
Yep. But
Really?
If you can hear me and see me, then we're good.
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. You're fine. Can you hear me and see me? Or you can't really see me because I'm frozen. Interesting.
Yep. Oh, you just glitched.
Okay. Like the Matrix?
Yeah, but we're good. If you can hear and see, then we're good.
I can hear you fine. Please just keep your pants on. Remember, everybody can see you. We don't need like a Jeffrey Tubin thing happening here.
You notice that the screen is from like here up.
Yeah. And you'll
I'm on board, Ray.
Great. So So he walked around. He did he want to go meet your employees or talk to them privately or anything like that? Or
No. When he showed up, I told him that was Devin, that was the one washing, and he just kind of nodded and threw his hand up, but just kept talking to me.
okay.
So
What else did he did he look at your equipment? You said he looked at your trucks, and you had mentioned earlier that he was really impressed with the quality of the equipment you had in your truck.
yeah, so we've got Devin's got a F-250 service body truck, and we've got all the equipment mounted onto it. We've got the tanks strapped in. We've got metal braces, like brackets holding them into place on top of the straps. We've got all the poles organized. My trucks are really clean and orderly, even on a site.
Right. You're real particular like that.
Yeah, you know how those window people are.
Yes.
So he was really impressed with just how neat and organized it was. I was opening up all the cabinets and showing him. We have one designated safety cabinet that has an eye wash station in it. It has, our red tape, or saran wrap, or plastic wrap, or anything safety. We've got rubber boots in there. We've got a first aid kit there. We got a fire extinguisher in the cab. I was really impressed with the way everything was set up, and it was easy access. Like I didn't have to go and unlock any cabinet. Because if you have an emergency, the last thing you need to do is fumble for your key to open up the safety drawer, So I just walked around, opened that up, and he said, yeah, he goes, so I imagine you're always around water, which is great in the event of an emergency. Stop, Richie. He's like, so I guess you could just run and grab water. I said, no. And I told Devin, I said, I'm going to cut off the machine real quick, turn the key, and then we've got a bypass hose. I just cut that ball valve, and all the fresh water from the tank started coming out of that hose. I said, we got it right here. We don't have to look for it. And the hose comes out right next to the safety cabinet. So all you have to do is cut the machine off, flip the ball valve, and we've got water coming out of that tank. So you can use that, and you have your eye wash station or whatever. We got safety gloves. Everything was right there. And it was facing where he was working. Because obviously, as you would know, you're going to pull up, hoses go out towards the house, right? So everything was right there, very easy to access quickly. And he really liked that. And he said, I didn't notice any safety harness. So I opened up the back door, and there's a Petzl. It's about a year old. Michael Draper sent it. Nice Petzl. I've got the double lanyard, so you can hook up to both sides of the lid of the basket. And he's like, wow. He goes, that's nice. He said, a lot of people just have like an old junky one that's, got threads.
Right.
This and that. He said,
out of date. Yeah.
And then it kind of went along with my timing as far as how much time we spent on commercial. He goes, and that looks brand new. I was like, that's actually about a year old. But all my stuff is kept nice. We don't have cheap stuff, and we take care of it.
Right. So question on so you said the double lanyard. I always thought that was you could just hook up two workers to the same tie-off point. Kidding.
The heavier one's always the anchor point.
Yeah. Okay, fat guy, you're the anchor point. And that's usually me. Mm-hmm.
So it was nice because when I pulled up, I didn't have any safety cones on that job site because it was a residential house. Obviously a residential house. It was a residential job. It was out in the middle of a field. We had almost a mile-long driveway, and there's no other houses around. And we had our hoses tucked between where the gravel and the concrete work, so there was no trip hazards. But I did throw some cones out there, and I had it set up And I told him this. I said, this is how we would have it set up for a commercial job. But besides putting the cones where the concrete and the driveway and the gravel meet, we didn't have to change anything. It was a good feeling because this never happened. And when I went up there, I said, "Hey, Devin, we got a safety audit coming up." And he just stopped. He goes, "What do I need to do?" And I said, "Just exactly what you're doing. Say hey." It's a good feeling, not only for me to be able to walk up to a job I'm not on, to just be able to say that, but I'm sure for him, because he's been here 3 or 4 months now, and I think for him, it was a good realization. Hey, this guy really cares about safety because I didn't have to change. He didn't show up. He's not sitting there thinking, "Oh man, Daniel just showed up saying, hey, safety audit's coming. We got to stop and we got to change everything.
You got to wear a harness today. Hey, you've got to do the, you got to put a back brace on. Hey, you got to do all of this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty amazing, and that would have to ruminate pretty well with your employee, I would think, going, okay, my boss is kind of legit, or this is a legit job. He's getting safety audited and we're passing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So James Brown wanted to know, did you show him, did he ask for an SDS binder?
He did not.
He did not. He didn't have any, no chemical questions or what?
He was asking what we use most of the time, and I told him SH.
Did you say?
I said we use shh. Surprising, he didn't ask what SH was. I told him sodium hypochlorite is the main ingredient bleach, and that's normally what we use. And he said, so no acids or anything like that. And I said occasionally, and I pulled out a gallon of F9 bark that we've got in the chemical cabinet. And I said, this is probably 6 months old, and it was almost a full gallon. So we don't use it often, but we have it for when there's some things you have to have acid on. But he was more concerned with water-fed polling. And we'll get on that in a second, I think. But he was asking about roofs. He's like, if you got a roof like this, you can't walk it. How would you get the valleys clean? And I reached in the back of the truck and grabbed the gutter tool. I said, you put this on the 30-foot pole, and you put it on top of that valley, and you pull down. He's like, yeah, I used to get up there with a leaf blower. I was like, yeah, we don't. Mm-hmm. I told him, I was like, sometimes you have to. I was like, but we won't walk a roof unless we absolutely have to. And I pointed at a garage. He's like, and I pointed, I was like, we could walk that there. He's like, yeah, that would be easy to walk. He said, but you couldn't do this. I said, no. I said, but you look at that roof, you look at all the trees around, there's nothing on it. The pitch is so steep.
Right.
It's not going to collect there. It's going to collect in the valleys. And for the valleys, you can use the gutter tool. Mm-hmm. So,
like, why is there nothing on this roof? Because it's so steep that everything falls off of it, including technicians.
Yeah. Denied. But he was smart. You could tell the questions he asked them in a manner as if he was just really interested. Right. But really, he wanted to hear the answer.
Right. Now, I bet he was interested. Now, did you get the feeling that if you would have answered wrong, that this would have really negatively impacted your insurance rating, ranking, or ability to have insurance?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. So this person wielded almost like a deity-like power over your company in that respect.
So I've had issues. I've been in business for 10 years. I've never had a single claim. I keep getting dropped because I keep doing higher buildings, and they don't want me leaving the ground.
Right.
So the last company, I don't even know the name of the company. It was Liberty, and Liberty dropped me, and I got a broker, found another company, and I'll get to why it makes sense in a minute. They had to sell me to this company saying that this is a rapidly growing business because I've grown a little over 700% in 4 years. They said, this guy's growing. I know it's a small business. It's not going to be a huge premium, but there's going to be more to come because he's growing so quickly. Well, then, guess what? I grew, and they didn't like it. They wanted me to grow in residential.
Right.
They didn't like me growing and doing these buildings that are over 2 stories. And, we're quoting up to 20-story towers now.
Right.
And they said, no, we're not going to insure that.
You are certified for rope descent work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You took
that.
I
don't like that.
Yeah, from Michael Draper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I told them, I said, there's more accidents from ladders than there are lifts and ropes. And they said they don't care. They don't want you leaving the ground. Mm-hmm. So I know how serious insurance is because I have to have it.
Right.
But it's for the work that I do, I have to have it. And I have $1 million workers' comp and $2 million general liability. Mm-hmm. And I've never been asked for more of that. Most people they don't care what you have as long as you got $1 million general liability and like 500 workers' comp.
Right.
But I went ahead and doubled what most people want because every now and then you'll find that one person that's going to require more.
Yeah. So
I have to have it for several of the jobs that we do. So by me answering the wrong question, because this was with AmeriSafe, they will cover me to do 20-story towers. And I made it perfectly clear. I said, this year we've got some stuff 8 stories. We got a few buildings that are 8 stories. But next year, we're looking at 20-story buildings. 1, maybe 2 20-story buildings. It's like, and I don't want to have to redo this every time I get a bigger building. I need to be covered today for everything that I'm quoting.
Right.
And when I was explaining to him why I didn't understand why it was so difficult to get coverage when I have they pulled my, what do they call them? Lost records, whatever it is. I forgot what it's called. I've never had a claim, but they had to pull all those records. And I said, I just don't understand why for someone with a perfect record, why it would be so hard. Why nobody wants to stick with me? And he told me, he said, because you're a window cleaner. I said, what does that mean? He said, for you to have this budget or this payroll of $150,000 a year, that's your payroll. He said, that's not a lot of money in the insurance business. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to cover you to go up 20 stories when they're only getting a $10,000 premium.
They're basing the premium off of payroll. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. They don't really want the risk exposure, where if you had probably a $500,000 payroll, yep, they'd be like, yeah, bring it on. We don't care.
And the people building,
you're indicating there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard for the smaller guys like myself to be able to grow and keep that insurance, because, I don't ever plan on having a $500,000 payroll, but, you never know what would happen in the next 5 years, but it's tough to have to cover this insurance, because I want to be fully insured for anything I'm doing, because God forbid an accident happen, I'm going to be covered, Mm-hmm. If you're like, oh, I'm only going to do 120-story tower a year, it'll be all right. It's just a few weeks. Now, what happens if something happens in those few weeks?
Yeah, I don't need that. I'll be down before they ever know about it. It's not like. It's not like, oh, well, you're covered up to 10 stories. Well, what if I only, so if you fall, you better make sure it's like from story 9 on below. You're not covered for the first 20, but you're covered for the last 10.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Nope.
Insurance is no joking matter. So there's a question here. SOMD said, question with house building and roof washing. Should you place a cone at the entranceways? You know, yes. I would think for any extra visual safety thing you could do, if that includes putting a cone at the entranceways. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you had an occupied commercial type building. But I tell you that, on a residential house, I'd be like, yeah, because the homeowner knows that I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to probably tell them, don't have a garden party today. And, if the housekeepers are coming, let them know. On a commercial building, I mean, it scares the bejesus out of me to wash a roof on a commercial property. I put that posting in the academy today. We've been working at Florida State all week on a commercial building, and school's not in session, but we're at actually the School of Music, and the the marching chiefs come report to school a couple of weeks early to start practicing. So this is just like an active school classroom that's out there, and we've been having them. I hate it having that many people, sitting around. So, what insurance code number do you use?
I don't even know. I was listed under janitorial. I don't know if that's changed or not.
Oh, I'm sure it's changed because with rope access, I had, we had one guy listed under.
It hadn't until because they just extended my policy with the last company so I could transition to AmeriSafe. So I don't know what AmeriSafe is going to put me under.
I tell you, there's a lot of insurance brokers out there that are really doing washers a disservice by listing them under janitorial insurance codes, and I'll give you a little way to compete with your competition that has crappy workers' comp insurance. Find out what their codes are if this is a thing, and you're in a heated battle for a bid, and you can always go in there and say, golly, did you know that they're listed as janitorial? Whereas I've got my roofer's workers' comp and I've got actual pressure washer workers' comp on here. They're not even covered to be on a ladder or use gas-powered equipment on here because it does specifically say that in the janitorial codes.
Well, when I was originally listed under janitorial, I did make it clear that I was doing lift work up to 3 stories because that's what I was doing at the time. And they asked how often I was on ladders, what size ladder. So they had all that incorporated in my janitorial. But I'm sure
it scares the crap out of me when people start playing with that number on there. However, then it also came back to really benefit us in the when we started sanitizing, because they're like, oh yeah, well, we have no problem covering you workers' comp wise for sanitizing because you have people covered under janitorial workers' comp codes. And this is something too that, as you start getting more and more technicians, you can split your codes. And there are some insurance companies that will even allow you to say, well, mark the time that he's on the roof and we will charge you roofers workers' comp for part of the time. We'll charge you labor workers' comp for the time that they're not on the roof. But it's a pretty cool, and it's going to be a lot more paperwork for you. But in a place like Florida, where $18 $100, and that's still pretty cheap. I think some of the other areas are even higher. It can be a big savings to do that for a little bit of extra paperwork. Mm-hmm. Hey, John Sacco, good evening. Hope you're doing well today, my friend. So you passed. You still have your workers' comp insurance. Now, are you required to carry workers' comp insurance where you are, or you just choose to?
For the commercial projects, we do. The contractors require it.
Contractors require it, but the state does not require you to.
State doesn't require it, no, but right. Pretty much any commercial requires it. So when they get audited.
So Florida is one of those states that if you have 4 more employees, you have to have workers' comp. If you have less than 4, you don't have to have it unless you're in the construction industry. Hey, Rusty, how are you?
I'll have to look into that because I've always had it, so I don't know. I can't honestly say that.
State by state, but I also guarantee you that you are getting business on that commercial stuff just because you have it, because there's a lot of guys that your commercial people, it's not a state requirement that you have it. And I don't know about North Carolina. I'm saying for Florida, it's not, because we get the question all the time, do you have workers' comp? Yes, we do. Okay, great. Then we would like a bid from you.
I'm not sure if it's a state requirement or not here. Because I've always had it.
said people think that because they pay $50 to $800 for $80 a month on insurance, they are covered to walk roofs. That is not correct. Absolutely, So I know you have a story to tell me about the water fed pole and trees, but I want to tell everybody else a story that I was talking to a very good friend of mine today. In fact, one of the guys that got me into washing. And he was with Liberty Mutual today, and he had just recently changed because he got canceled from Liberty Mutual. And we were just kind of yakking about what was going on there. And he said, he actually his policy was Liberty Mutual, but he was with Joe Walters. He said that he actually got, I said, now he was telling me he got a call from Joe Walters. And I said, now, did you get a call from Joe Walters or did you get a call from Liberty Mutual? He said, I got a call from Joe Walters. And I said, okay, interesting. And he said they had a problem with that. They had gone to his website and to his Facebook and had been looking at the pictures that he was posting and said, you need to take those pictures down. We do not want our underwriter seeing the pictures of you of what you're doing.
What was he doing?
He said pictures of him cleaning roofs, pictures of him on big buildings. It wouldn't be a huge building. It would be a three. Well, he said, he was allowed to do 3-story buildings, which sounded pretty typical of that Liberty Mutual policy on there. Right. I can't say this with any certainty, but I'm guessing, knowing him, he probably may not have had a harness on the roofs or something. But literally, Joe Walter said, you need to take those pictures down. And he said, well, no, I'm not going to take those pictures down because, you said I was covered for stuff like this. So why would you want me to take these pictures down if I'm supposed to be covered for it? And then later he got canceled. So should have taken him down. Oops.
Yep.
But I think it's we've heard about it before. We've talked to other people who said, hey, I guarantee you, there are people who are, stalking these groups, stalking your pages. They're checking you out. And this is somebody that I know I would trust him with my life. I literally went to high school with him and have maintained an ongoing friendship now for
high school, 70 years?
Huh? Well, we used to turn in our homework assignment on stone tablets. So, I graduated in 88. So that's a long freaking time that I've known him. So
I graduated in 87 from my mother's womb. You're old. That was the first 9-month blackout I came out of.
Yeah, you were. Oh, and how many more have you had since then? So
I keep forgetting we're live.
Oh my God, it was 33 years ago that I graduated high school. Lord.
Rub it in. You're a graduate.
So John Sacco said, yes, that is an issue I have with my other business because I install ramps and I do construction work on the other. Underwriters don't want to insure me because of a liability with the other companies because of all the social media. Interesting. Yeah. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation right there. You want to use the social media to show what you do, but then you're doing the social media and they don't want to, play with you because you're on social media. So.
Yep. Social media is huge. We don't have any paid marketing. All mine is word of mouth and just Facebook posts and shares. I don't even pay to boost it.
Joe just commented that he got dropped before because of a photo. So, you guys out there that are, I know a lot of new guys watch the replays of this video. So, take this to heart. If you do these things, just remember that every action has a consequence. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And I remember that video that was going around of that guy jumping from roof to roof on a 2-3 story house. Hey, look what I do! Yay! And he posted that on his Facebook. And not that I think this person had insurance to begin with, because he seemed like the type that may not exactly have it there. But that's a sure absolute. We're out of here. No workers' comp, no general liability, no anything like that. So yeah, be very, very careful about what you post. People are looking at your social media.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What does he want this time? No.
Oh, Richie?
Yeah.
No, we have a huge owl that flies around here just landing on a branch. But I'm looking at you and I can see this huge object flying in my peripheral.
Joe said, I didn't know the insurance company didn't want to have exposure for medical properties. That's interesting. Joe does a lot of medical stuff, but thank God I have not had that problem, because we do also. Man, that is our bread and butter. So John Sacco said, insurance companies are looking at your social media to see what you are doing business ways, especially if you say you don't clean roofs, but you are on a roof. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a dead giveaway right there. And that's one of the reasons why we clean from ladders, we clean from the ground. Be very, very sure, to say that on your website of the different ways that you can clean roofs without having to access them. But yeah, the minute you put yourself a picture of you on a roof going, yay, you may have a problem. So Daniel, talk to me about this water fed pole. That was a very interesting story that you told me.
All right. I do want to go back. You already answered this question, SOMD exterior, about I have a question with house building and roof washing. Should we be placing a cone at the entranceways? You touched on the cones. I've always got a ground person on commercial. I'll do some roofs by myself, but on commercial, I've always got a ground person. I've got my cones blocking off the lift. I've got cones going where my hoses are. I'll put caution tape or red tape if the hose has got to cross the sidewalk. I've got big safety signs, but we'll also have a ground person, and their job 100% is to talk to people. Mm-hmm. They're not cleaning. They can move cones with us, but they are there to watch people, whether it's pedestrian traffic or vehicle traffic, to talk to them and help direct them, or yell up and tell us that we need to hold off for a minute, whatever. But I think it's very important to have somebody on the ground at all times, that they're not preoccupied with work, they're preoccupied with safety and making sure that everybody is fine. It's a lot cheaper.
Very well said. Very well said. Absolutely.
So
I like that, Daniel. Very well said.
I am very excited, Jacob Dale. This is my excited face. All right, so the insurance guy said he was asking about power lines and water fed pole, and I said, we'd like to keep at least 10 foot between a power line when we're rappelling, and if we are using a water fed pole, we like it to be a little bit further away because we're coming in at an angle. And he was happy with that. But one thing he mentioned, he said, you have to be careful with any trees that are around the building. And he gave the instance of a guy dying because the tree was saturated wet. It was just completely covered in water. And it was touching a power line that was 50 foot away. Well, the guy that was water fed pulling the windows, that pole hit the branch that was next to the building and it fried him. Killed him on the spot. And OSHA came out and they didn't find the company because they said they never would have seen that happening. But since the tree was so wet and it was touching a power line, and when that pole hit that, it just transferred right over and got him.
Wow. So he obviously moved the pole and went from the building over to the tree.
Well, if you got a building, where we're at, you got a building right here, and you got a branch.
Yeah.
And you're working on 2 or 3 story windows. You know how you'll kind of hop it over?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to work all the way down and then move over and work all the way up. But most people don't do that. You just hop to the next window.
Yeah.
And you'll do the whole top floor, then you work your way down.
You bring it down, you get your angle cut right, and you do the second floor, and then you get your, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you hop over, but you hit that branch. If that branch is touching something, that's the end of story. I hit branches all the time. I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm always looking for power lines. I'm not looking if anything's touching the power line because it's never crossed my mind. I've never heard about it in any safety video training, nothing.
Yeah. Well, there's a million ways to die in the pressure washing industry. That's absolutely for sure. And that's one I hadn't heard of before. Just electric transference from a wet tree to, and it seems like, the power line would make that tree burst into flames whenever it was dry.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, Tree Speaker, I put the courses we have on Spray Wash Academy down there. I know that we have, look and see. There's 10 or 15 classes on there. I don't know if we've got one exclusively dealing with safety at this point. I have a lot of times really deferred my safety training to the pwna.org. They've got Michael Draper there as their education coordinator. He keeps up on this. He's smart, and I think that's a much more valuable safety class than I could ever give. And you're a Michael Draper, disciple. So
Draper knows his stuff. He's not going to steer you wrong at all, and he does not. I joke about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Draper doesn't joke with you. He's and he shouldn't. It's safety. This is what's saving lives. This is what is keeping people in business and insured. But he's 100% by the book, and he knows the stuff. Mm-hmm. He's done it. Yeah.
No, he's a good guy. Well, that's why I told you to go there for your training. He's and you're still alive.
Yeah. And every time I think I'm doing something wrong, he goes, "Trust your equipment." I do, but I don't trust that ground and the rocks 60 feet below me.
Yeah. They don't. I trust the equipment. I don't trust the guy that tied the knots in the damn thing. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, Andrew Snyder is parroting the same thing. You said 2 to 3 times a year they show up at the jobs, ask questions, and watch what we do. Absolutely. So. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you do, isn't it, Ray? You just show up to jobs and watch what they do.
Yeah, but not 2 to 3 times a year. So I wish. For you guys that don't know Andrew Snyder, Andrew runs an amazing company in Iowa, and he is also the owner and developer of all of the Agent Clean soaps that are out there, my favorite brand of soaps. And also, what else? The neutralizing product, Agent Halt, which is, if you're not using Agent Halt, my God, you should be using Agent Halt. Yep. Agent Halt will save your butt more than anything else in the world. Yes, sir. Wild West says he's a safety Nazi. All right, Dan, what else you got for us safety-wise that we need to talk about?
I don't know.
Wait, you're late.
I think, well, here's one thing. So Devin has been with me for a few months now, so we go over safety before the jobs anyway, just because I like to reiterate what he's doing on that job and how to properly do it.
Right.
Now, I don't have any written documentation of safety meetings with him, because every job we go over it, because
right.
And I send him out by himself. He's working a lot by himself, but we go over safety a lot. But I don't have any documentation noting that. So it's one thing. That's the only thing that he asked me. There's 2 things that he said he would recommend. Is he'd like to see any employee moving forward to have proper training on lift work. Devin hasn't done any lift work.
Right.
But he does want him to go take a formal class. And he wants documentation of at least a month, 1 safety meeting a month. What I want to do is every Monday go over the schedule. We work most weeks, it's Monday through Thursday. We have 3-day weekends unless there's commercial. So every Monday I want to go through the schedule for Monday through Thursday and touch base on anything he's doing. If he's doing anything that requires a ladder, an A-frame ladder, we can go over that. If it requires an extension ladder, we'll go over that. Slip hazards, whatever he's working on for that week, we're going to have a 30-minute.
Absolutely. The toolbox talks and the OSHA safety meetings are so very important. That's one of the things. I'm going to give a quick plug for Spray Wash Pro here. We have got all of Agent Clean's. They were graciously provided by Agent Clean. I think we've got 50 different toolbox talks that work for OSHA safety meetings on spraywashpro.com that you can use and go over with your team. And I know it's something at Crystal Clean. We do, monthly OSHA safety meetings on here that we have to sign off. And they're, me as my operations manager, I go over it with my team and, make sure the team all signs off on that. It's so important to do that. And also timely OSHA safety meetings like what Daniel's talking about. Okay, we're doing some A-frame ladder works. Let's do a toolbox talk about A-frame ladders. I would love to see one like right now with school getting back in about defensive driving. Defensive driving is so different. And if you guys have techs out there, talk to your techs about the whole landscape of what's the word I'm looking for? Traffic is changing right now with kids going back to school. When does Richie head back, Daniel?
August 23rd.
August 23rd. No, so if it hasn't started back in your area, it will be starting soon. And you need to tell your techs, hey, there's going to be more kids out at bus stops. There's going to be more kids walking on the side of the roads. There's going to be bicycles where you haven't expected bicycles. There's going to be these big, gigantic yellow school buses out there. Traffic's going to be slower. Take a little more time to get to a job. These are all things that we can, discuss at a safety meeting right now. Defensive driving.
Yep.
Somebody from and I see Rusky. We'll get to that question. Somebody from Crystal Clean is here. So, hey, tell them what a great job I'm doing with Crystal Clean as employee number 7. So, I don't know if that's. I'm assuming that's Jeremy. Jeremy, I hope you're doing just absolutely awesome out there. This is our Tuesday, and we do a Thursday and Monday show on here for the Academy. So Rusty was asking the OSHA 10 and 30. So PWNA, you get the OSHA 10 course with the PWNA membership that Draper wrote. So yes, he does teach it, but you get it through the PWNA. And then he also has an OSHA 30 course that you get with his package, right, Daniel?
Not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know
Do you
he's got
know what his website is? I'll put his website up. What is it?
Safety Experts. I'll tell you the full website real quick.
Oh, and there's also pwna.org. There's that one. So I know that gets you some access to OSHA right there.
Expert Safety.
You cut out on me? Expert what? Oh, Daniel, glitched. You're stuck. Daniel. Yep, there you are. Okay, expert what?
ExpertSafetyServices.com. Let's get these lights on out here.
And ExpertSafetyServices.com. Yeah, we're getting a little ambiance going on there, Sugar.
I like it.
So that is Michael Draper's site that he has there. And again, I can't say, high enough compliments about Draper. And Draper will actually teach you to be, he'll teach you, your control, your rope access. He's a good guy. Hey, it is Jeremy. So I'm the best. I'm 74. Unit 74 is Spray Wash. Good to see you. Poor Jeremy. How do you manage to put up with a 47? Because I'm incredible, Jacob. That's why. All right. So Wade said, question as far as safety. When my tech pulls the strings on the PW, it ranks the crap out of his wrist. Ball valve is open. Any good feedback? Yes, electric start is next. You answered it right there. Electric start will help. Second off, I would have a mechanic look at your valves. I'm guessing you've got a valve issue there if you're getting that hard of a pullback. And anybody else is welcome to chime in on that one. But that's what it sounds like to me. I had a 9.9 that used to damn near break my wrist. Wild West does the 10-hour DOT every year. Jacob Beal is just a wing it and sling it guy.
He is big on wings, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Buffalo, teriyaki. Yes, this is my old UAMCC shirt, and I was bragging on this shirt because it's got to be at least 7 or 8 years old. Still works, still comfortable. So, and I also came in, took off my yellow Crystal Clean shirt because I'm not representing Crystal Clean on here. It'd be wrong for me to wear a yellow Crystal Clean shirt while I did this. So I put on the shirt that I had in the office. On the pump. So Wade went back to this. No, I'm talking about the valves on the valves in the engine. If it's a Honda, probably those valves might be on the engine itself, might be just a little bit out of adjustment on there. And a good quick tune-up from a small engine mechanic should solve that problem. But you're doing the right thing. Have the ball valve open on there so it doesn't back pressure on you, and just have that engine looked at.
I take all my stuff to Triangle Pressure Services in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's a simple oil change.
Right.
They do it all. I don't mess with any of my stuff. Two reasons. One, I don't know how to. Two, I would much rather take you there and have someone that does this all day, every day, to make sure it's done properly. So I only have to do it once.
Well, so Wade said that's a Honda GX or 390. I'm assuming it's a GX 390 because most of them are. Those are infamous for getting those valves just a little bit out and really putting a lot of backlash on you there. So Daniel said I was going to be shirtless to pump up my viewers. I would turn everybody away, Jacob. You know that.
You don't want me to be shirtless today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yep. And you misspelled crystal clean, Rusty. You misspelled crystal clean.
Rude.
But yeah, it's Crystal Clean's amazing. They actually have an on-site lift guy on there who does your lift training on there. Any type of training, they have that literally in-house. They're pretty darned amazing like that. Wade, you can find somebody. I mean, if you're in East Texas, I'd call, heck, you've got Marco Ramondo's shop over there. I've never used Marco. Doug Rucker could probably tell you somewhere to go to on there. So, Panama City, Apalachicola. Good question. I can't find a decent mechanic in Tallahassee to save our lives. Our closest one is 90 miles away in Valdosta, Georgia. So, Jason, I would look at, I'm trying to think who I know over there. I talked to a small engine repair, like a good lawnmower. A good lawnmower company. What's that?
A rental company, anywhere that rents pressure washers, paint sprayers.
Yeah,
full-time mechanics that work on all their rental equipment.
Yep. Yeah, and they will charge you shop rates to work on that. United Rentals, the big green one, Sunbelt. I mean, the Sunbelt, they all have huge shops over there. So, Daniel, you're freezing again on here. So. Yep, there he is.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard me, but any rental company that rents pressure washers and stuff, they've got full-time mechanics. That's all they do is work on the equipment that they rent.
Yeah. Yep. I mentioned United Rentals and the green one, Sunbelt. That's it. I have it. Cannot remember Sunbelt's name to save my life tonight, which is kind of scary because I'm picking up an 85, or they're delivering an 85 to me for this weekend. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for the information. I appreciate you sharing that story. So Daniel went through it. For those of you joining us late, Daniel went through a safety inspection with his company today, his workers' comp company, and you know what? They were happy with Daniel, but if you've got workers' comp, you can expect workers' comp to show up on a job site and say, hey, what you got? And it's their right to do it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I learned from Dougie too. No, I wouldn't have had half of the stuff that I had in place if it wasn't for you, Doug, several people, Michael Draper, but several people, and just getting on here watching videos, watching stuff like this, it's just,
Yeah.
I never even thought about having a fire extinguisher until I started seeing people in Spray Wash Academy asking where to put them. And I was like, oh, I probably should have one of those. Yeah, I never thought about.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, there's a lot of information in here to be learned. So I appreciate you guys and the network that I have, because anytime I've got a question, then there's always someone there to answer.
Right. Well, we take care of our own, and I know your personal growth has been one of those things that I absolutely warms my heart, and I'm honored to call you a friend, and I love seeing what all you've done. You make me so proud to be associated with you.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, we still have your original interview in there in Spray Wash Pro that you and I did probably 2 years ago. Your success interview, and man, I mean, how much have you grown since that interview? You're even more incredible now.
At least 30 pounds.
Well, I have got to go put on the yellow again because I got a rest area to go clean tonight. Boom.
Bam.
You know it. So, guys, thank y'all for your time. We appreciate you. We've sucked about an hour and 10 minutes out of your life, but you know what? We really appreciate your attendance on here. And y'all have an amazing evening. Daniel, thank you, sir.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
See ya.